Hey guys, what is going on? MadSpace here. Welcome back to another video. Once again, talking about Sora. I think my last 5 videos have been about Sora. I'm pretty sure you guys are sick of hearing about him, but look, there's a lot to talk about. You know, he's the newest character in Smash. General consensus is that he's fun to play as, and we still have to figure out how he falls in the meta. And in this video, I want to talk about whether I think he can be a top tier character or not. But before we get into that, really quick, if you guys enjoy my content, feel free to subscribe, and if you like this video, then drop a like. You guys don't have to, but it'd be pretty cool if you did. And with all that being said, let's get into the video. So to determine whether a character is top tier or not, we have to determine their strengths and weaknesses and how that would help them in I would say in a tournament setting, because obviously, you know, how pros use them and how professionals are going to use these characters highly determine whether a character is good or not. There's a lot of characters that some people may think that aren't that good, but then, you know, a pro uses them and you're like, wait, is this character actually good? I think a good example of that was MKLeo with Byleth. I didn't think Byleth was all that good, but I watched Leo play him, and Byleth has amazing tools against a lot of the cast. So is Byleth top tier? You know, that could be another video we talk about in the future. We don't know. So yeah, that's the first thing we have to do, is determine what are Sora's strengths and what are Sora's weaknesses. First, let's talk about his strengths. I think one of Sora's biggest strengths is his combo ability and his damage output. I think his moves are pretty consistent, other than his up B. I mean, you can fall out of up B pretty easily, but the rest of his moves kind of flow nicely into one another. He has a lot of different combo trees that players are going to experiment down the line, and he gets a lot of damage off of a lot of these moves. And like I said, I think it's very, very consistent. They flow nicely into one another. He has a lot of true combos, especially on big characters and tall characters. And I think him being good at comboing and building up damage transitions nicely into another strength that I think he has, and that's his KO ability. He does have a lot of KO moves. I mean, every character in the game has KO moves, but he has aerials and normals that combo into his KO moves, and they are so good, so consistent, work on pretty much everybody in the game, because a lot of his setups use moves that have set knockback. They set up really nicely into his powerful moves like his smash attacks or aerials like up air, and sometimes even back air, depending on, you know, percent and things like that, obviously. But they're really consistent. If you look at the combos people have already, you know, displayed, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be in actual games, because people are already using him in tournament. So yeah, damage output and KO ability, definitely very good for Sora. And what I think is probably his biggest strength is actually his edge guarding. So if he doesn't kill you while using his moves on stage or just comboing you to death, you know, he's going to edge guard you to death and use his off stage game. The ability to side B after his up B to get back to the stage. The amount of height that he gets from his double jump. Being able to kind of like stay afloat using his nair and his forward air, and forcing you to use your resources. Being able to counter up Bs that have hitboxes. Being able to counter moves that people spam to try to get out of hit stun. Just all of this stuff in tandem with one another. It's just really strong on Sora. So those are a couple of his biggest strengths that I see. All those aspects are definitely going to be very good. So to move on to his weaknesses, obviously the main thing people are going to talk about is his weight. He is a really light character, and not only is he light, another one of his weaknesses is that he's like too floaty. It's mostly because of his double jump. It kind of works like Nest, to where he kind of like builds up to get momentum, so he doesn't really jump at a hit stun right away. So not only does he get comboed by things that might not even be combos on most of the cast, he's also really light, so he can just die to these pseudo combos because he can't jump out of the way. He has to air dodge or counter or spam a move, and sometimes you get caught in end lag, and a lot of these fast characters are going to be able to force you to use your resources really quickly, and so I think that's going to be you know, really bad for Sora. And again, you know, by transition, all these issues lead to him having a really bad disadvantage state. Some characters might have, you know, one of these weaknesses, but to have all 3 of these weaknesses, you know, being really light, having a bad disadvantage, being a little bit too floaty, all those 3 weaknesses together is actually really bad. it's not a good mix of weaknesses to have in a character, especially in a tournament setting. You know, I think he's going to struggle with these a lot, and I also think it's going to determine how people are going to play as Sora in order to circumvent for these weaknesses. I also think that there's some things about Sora that are not necessarily determine whether they're good or not. So for example, is his neutral good? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's good or not just yet. His floatiness can be good for neutral. You know, a lot of his moves like forward air and down tilt can be good for neutral. His jab can be as well. But there's a lot of things that are bad for his neutral too. You know, he's not that fast on the ground. He has really low dash speed. Some of his moves have, you know, a lot of end lag. Not necessarily landing lag, but just end lag in itself. So again, fast characters can punish stuff like this. So again, it's yet to be determined whether his neutral is going to be good or not. Another thing that I'm not sure if is good is his ledge trapping. You know, we know that his edge guarding is good, but because his edge guarding is so good, it's like, why am I gonna ledge trap? You know, let me just edge guard and then I'll get back to the stage. And you know, he gets up from the ledge, you know, pretty decently. So sometimes it is kind of worth it to go for a crazy edge guard because again, you can get back as Sora. But you know, he has some decent ledge trapping options. Down tilt, his floatiness can help with ledge trapping. His nair and his fair can help. Up air, up smash can catch jumps. I mean, you know, who knows? You know, we have to see more from his ability at the ledge to determine whether it's good or not. His advantage state, is it good? I think it is, but I don't know. You know, his floatiness can kind of put you in disadvantage by accident, you know? His aerials don't cancel the momentum that he gets from his double jump, with in some situations can be good, but in some situations, like I said, can accidentally put you in disadvantage, and all of a sudden you're in disadvantage without your double jump, so that's kind of bad. But then again, you know, his nair and his fair are really good for trapping people when you're in advantage state, and also his up air is really strong and you can punish landings with down smash. Again, there's good and bad, so we're gonna see how consistent, you know, the good aspects and the bad aspects are of his advantage state as well. And also his frame data, you know, he has a lot of good startup on some of his moves, like fair and his jab, but then he has bad startup like back air. You know, back air has a lot of startup, but then you can also auto cancel it and it has a lot of damage, so sometimes it could be worth it to use. You know, we'll see if his frame data checks out, you know, with the rest of the cast. So with all this being said, is Sora top tier? Right now I'm gonna go with no. I think he's solidly in high tier, but I'm not going to rule out the potential that he has to be a top tier character, because again, it's a little bit too soon to say, and we'll see how, you know, the best players go ahead and use Sora to try to maximize his strengths, circumvent his weaknesses, and also to optimize his combo game and, you know, the things that he's good at. You know, all of that is yet to be seen. He's by no means a bad character. The lowest I see him being on any tier list is being like the top of mid tier, but that's pretty much it. I don't think he goes any lower than that. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's my take on how good Sora is. I think he's a good character, but to determine how good, you know, is yet to be seen. But regardless of whether he's good or not, he's still fun to play. So you're gonna catch people playing him because he's fun to play, and also because he's Sora from Kingdom Hearts. I mean, come on, you know, a lot of the community has been waiting for this character for almost 20 years, you know, so people are going to use this character and it's going to be fun to see. So that's pretty much all I got, guys. Again, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you like my content, go ahead and subscribe. You don't have to, but it'd be cool if you did. And that's all I got. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.